What is up, everybody? We are back here at King Film Sports for the NBA second round predictions here, as we had somewhat of a disappointing first round. Yes, we did have some great games. We did have a game 7 between the Cavs and the Magic, but overall disappointing that some of these series did not extend out. It seemed like all of the close games went to the team that was already leading in the series, which led to some abbreviated outcomes, such as the sweep that we saw with the Pelicans and the Thunder, the T-Wolves and Suns sweep, and then the Nuggets-Lakers only going to 5 there. And then Knicks-Sixers, it would have been great if we got a game 7 in that one. That was just an electric series, even though it only went to 6 games. So getting into a bit of the recaps here, Thunder and the Pelicans, that first game was low scoring, and it was very close there. Really thought the Pelicans should have won that game, really. But the Thunder went at home there. Then game 2, they crush them. And then games 3 and 4, I mean, we're somewhat close for 3 quarters, but overall, OKC just asserted their dominance as the better team. Going into it, I thought if the Pelicans would have had Zion, they would have had a chance. And after watching this, I mean, yeah, they would have won a game or two, but I still do think that the Thunder would have won that series. So I had Thunder in 6 initially, but yeah, Thunder were the much better team in that one. Then you had Clippers and Mavs here. And the Mavs really were who I thought they were. They need Kyrie and Luka to go off, and they really did throughout this series. Luka got it going. He's dealing with a little bit of a knee ailment, but got it going in games 5 and 6 there. And the Clippers, they had Kawhi for 2 games. He actually did come back, but he was not himself in those 2 games. Really was a detriment and did not play well for them. And overall, Dallas just showed that they were the better team, winning that 1 in 6. I thought that Kawhi would come back and be a lot better, so I did have the Clippers winning that 1 in 7 games there, but just unfortunately, Kawhi always seems to be unhealthy this time of year, so Dallas does win that. Brings us to this series, Thunder and the Mavs, and this one I definitely off the bat will say is going to 7 games. I do not think that either team is markedly better than the other. OKC's home court advantage and just the way that they've gelled, all of the rest that they're getting here, and their young spirit just wants to make me pick them, but just knowing the inevitability of Kyrie and Luka clutch shots down the stretch, I have to take the Mavs to win this 1 in 7 games, although I think this one will be very close. I think that SGA for the Thunder to win this series will have to put up 30, even 35 a game in this one, and we really saw Jalen Williams play very well in that Pelicans series, just clamping up on the defensive end, and then I think averaging probably 20 and 10 himself. And he'll probably have to do a great job guarding either Kyrie or Luka. We'll see if that happens. Not great for the Mavs that they lost Maxi Kleber for the series, but PJ Washington, Derek Lively both played great in that series. They'll have to match up well against Chet, but I think that they will be able to do that. So give me the Mavs to win this 1 in 7 games, just like their clutch ability with Kyrie and Luka. Then we go to the bottom of the bracket here, T-Wolves and Suns. The Wolves, I had them winning in 7 games. I understood that this team was a very dangerous team come the playoffs with Anthony Edwards, burgeoning star in the league. Really saw that in this one. But also, I think it must be said, this Suns team, very disappointing. Bradley Beal, basically a no-show, and Booker and Kevin Durant, they were themselves, I mean, averaging 25, 30 a game in this series, but nothing special, nothing out of the woodwork there. And then the Timberwolves just got gashed down low by Gobert and Towns. Yusuf Nurkic just wasn't good enough. Grayson Allen got injured, and the Suns role players were really no-shows as well. So I think the Suns probably could have gotten at least a game, probably 2 in this series, but yeah, Minnesota was much better, and I really do like that Minnesota home court advantage. That will be something to value later on in the playoffs. Then we get to this Nuggets-Lakers series, and this one, I mean, Lakers were leading for 70-75% of the minutes in this series. Definitely should have been extended out. Could have been 6 or 7 game series. Lakers even could have won, I felt, but just down the stretch, the Nuggets just felt inevitable in this series. Obviously, games 2 and 5, Jamal Murray hits the game winner and crushes the Lakers' hearts there, ending their season. Darvin Ham gets fired, so was what it was there. I did have this series going into the playoffs in my full bracket preview. Nuggets winning this one. I either had that one in 6 or 7, and obviously we've just seen game 1. Now, I did actually have the Timberwolves winning game 1 money line. Check out the Discord link in bio to get access to all of our betting picks there. But with that being said, I still will stick with my Nuggets in 7 prediction here. I do think that their home court advantage will reign supreme in this one. It will be interesting to see how they deal with adversity here. They deal with in-game adversity very well, as you've seen with the Lakers games in the series last year and this year, but they've never been actually losing in the series from last year to this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, but I think with that championship pedigree, they will get it right. They will have to adjust and adapt to the 2 big men for the Timberwolves there. as they've got to make some defensive adjustments. Jokic, not great on the defensive end. He's fine, but they need someone else to step up. And then they also need to neutralize Anthony Edwards. And then you've also seen Jamal Murray, as great as he's been in late game, fourth quarter situations, he hasn't been as good as he was last year in the playoffs. So he's got to step up as well. And then a bunch of these role players, KCP, Christian Brown, have to be better. And then Michael Porter Jr. are going to have to shoot very well again. Aaron Gordon going to have to be great along with that. So I do think that the Nuggets will step up here. I believe in Mike Malone, their head coach, to make these adjustments, and I will be taking them to win in 7 games there. And interesting enough, I feel like the Mavs and the Thunder would rather face the Nuggets. That might be a bold take, but I just think that they will not be able to deal with the twin towers of Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. So as interesting as it sounds, they might actually want Denver to win that. Then we go to the East here, where we have the Celtics and the Cavs facing off in the second round. And the only series that I predicted the correct amount of games and the team to win was the Celtics in 5 here, and really should have been 4. But game 2, the Heat shot for the moon. Some people thought that Miami could actually win the series, but without Jimmy Butler, they just had no chance there. Celtics are without Kristaps Porzingis for the foreseeable future, at least for this round here, which is a bit scary for them. Going into the playoffs, I had this one going 6 games just because I know that the Celtics mess around, and in close game, late situations, they always aren't great. So I'm going to stick with my prediction in that one. Cavs, I had them winning in 6, and wow, Orlando was great at home in that series, but Cavs were good enough to get it done there, but I am really scared of the Cavs' big men situation. Mobley and Allen were not great in the playoffs last year, and boy, they were not great in this series either, especially on the offensive end here. Jarrett Allen coming into this series injured as well, but overall with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, they were able to get it done. So yeah, I do think that they will be able to get a couple of games off this Celtics team, as they've shown. Spida Mitchell, very good in these clutch situations as we've seen throughout his career, but overall, I do not think that they have the star power or the depth to get this one done against the Celtics team. But it will be interesting to see how Mobley and Allen fare down low in this series there. Then we get to the Pacers and the Knicks, and this part of the bracket is where I got it wrong. I did have the Bucks and the Sixers winning. Now, I did think that Giannis would play at least 3 or 4 games in the series, and unfortunately, he did not play at all. And then Dame was dealing with that Achilles injury, so he was hampered. But yeah, the rest of the Bucks roster is really thin. I do not know who managed that roster coming into the season, but even if they had Giannis and Dame, they just had no depth. That team was not going far at all, even if all healthy there, although I do think that they probably would have beaten Indiana. And then that Knicks-Sixers series, I thought that the Sixers were the better team in that series. Now, after the fact, I do think that the teams were probably even, and the Knicks got some close game variance, although that Sixers game 5 was something to behold there from Maxey. But yeah, the Knicks just seemed to play harder, play better under Tom Thibodeau in the late game situations, so they did earn that victory there, although it was very close and the games were very entertaining. So going into this series, you've obviously got the raucous MSG crowd here. And they do have the home court advantage. A lot of people will probably be taking the Knicks to win in 5 or 6. I'm going to take the Knicks to win in 7 here. I think that Indiana will give some pushback. And actually, Milwaukee played so poor in that series that I do not think that Indiana played well necessarily. I think that they're going to have to play a lot better against this well-coached Knicks team if they want to win, and I do think that they will. Halliburton seems to be dealing with some sort of injury, so that's not great for Indiana's prospects here, but I do think that he will improve there. And I do love the Pacers' depth. I think Pascal Siakam will probably average 20 a game in this series, and then other role players, McConnell and the like, will have to step up as well. But yeah, I just do think that this is a very evenly matched series. We'll see how the Brunson-Halliburton matchup stacks up. I think that Brunson will probably outplay him, and I do think that the Knicks are the better team in this one, so give me them to win in 7 games. And as for the rest of the playoffs, I'm going to stick with my initial prediction of the Nuggets to win the NBA championship. I did have them facing the Sixers just because I wanted to be a bit spicy on the Eastern side, but yeah, realistically, it's just the Celtics to win that one. So Nuggets, Celtics in the finals, and give me the Nuggets to win the NBA championship. Still sticking with it, although they are down 1-0 at the moment. So with all that being said, let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comments down below. I want to know. Check out the Betting Picks Discord as we are getting hot here in the NBA and NHL playoffs along with MLB regular season. And with that, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.